Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is a Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 4xe plug-in hybrid. It's the most technologically advanced Jeep that Jeep's ever made, at least as far as Wranglers are concerned, and today I'm going to do a quick review on it for you. What we're going to do is we're going to go over the Easter eggs on this particular Jeep, we're going to measure out the cargo space, we're going to have a look at the passenger room, and we are going to look at the specific plug-in hybrid features and controls. So, as always, if some of that sounds interesting and some of it sounds boring, check the description below for timestamps. So we'll start with the Easter eggs, and the first Easter egg everybody mentions on a new Jeep is the 7-slot grille. Pero like, why? If you know your Jeep history, every Jeep from the beginning of time has not had a 7-slot grille. Well, the reason why Jeep started putting them on there is because allegedly a Jeep was the first vehicle to visit all 7 continents. So that's why you have a 7-slot grille in the front of your Jeep. You also have the 7-slot grille and headlights on the little rear tail light right there. On the interior of the vehicle, you have 7 holes there, and you have a similar pattern underneath to show you more 7-slot grills. And I found one more up on the roof of the car. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those. That looks like another reference to the 7-slot grill right there. So there's another Easter egg on a new Jeep. They hid one more 7-slot grill from you, and it's right on the yoke of the front drive shaft. Now back up front, the little tow recovery hooks on the 4xe model specifically are that nice electric blue color. That's just a slight model variation on this one. We also have the 4xe logo on the hood. The Rubicon lettering is trimmed in blue. The Jeep lettering is trimmed in blue. The Trail Rated is trimmed in blue. This E right here, just ahead of the driver's door, this is the plug to charge the car on the plug-in hybrid. And if you'll notice right here, we have a little Jeep going up a mountain there. That's a nice touch. The 4xe also gives us a blue Jeep on all the wheels. On the passenger side, we have the little Willys Jeep going up the windshield and the thong sandals right there molded into the plastic hood cowl. Now on the back seat of the 4xe, it says 4xe right there. And if we lift up the bottom of the back seat, that's actually the battery pack right there for the car. But we do have a Jeep with a little plus minus for electricity going up a hill there. That's a nice touch as well. I don't know that you would consider this an Easter egg, but you do have very detailed measurement specs as far as water fording depth, wheelbase, breakover angles, all that kind of stuff here. I like that. That is on the inside of the rear door for the cargo area. It should be noted that the included charging cable says Jeep on it. It is a Jeep branded charging cable, and it warms my heart to see that Mopar is still listed on there. When Mopar goes away and they start just writing Stellantis on this stuff, I may officially go on strike. Now when we start the engine, we get a nice little graphic of an original Willys Jeep transitioning into a 4xe. And of course we have a Willys Jeep on the top of the shift knob and Jeep logos for the recirculate button and the select speed button as well. And on the center cap of the steering wheel, you'll notice the 3 little bumps there. That is meant to represent the original 3-spoke steering wheel on the Willys Jeeps from World War II. But I'd be willing to bet that those Jeep steering wheels were not heated. Now it's time to measure out the passenger room, so we're going to get our handy-dandy laser tape measure and measure it out. The length from the rear of the cargo area to the bottom of the back seat in the Jeep Wrangler Unlimited, 2 feet 9 inches. The width in the rear of the Wrangler at the narrowest point, pretty much the whole thing, it doesn't really change, 3 feet 4 inches. The length from the rear of the cargo area to the bottom of the back seat with the back seat properly folded down, 4 feet 11 inches. The height from the bottom of the load floor to the roll bar that would still be in place if you took the top off, 2 feet 11 inches. And the height to the roof with the hard top in place, 3 feet 6 inches. And if you need to lift something into the back of your Wrangler 4xe, you are going to have to lift it 2 feet and 8 inches. And just for fun, underneath here, there's some additional storage as well. You also have the little spots to put the bolts if you take off your doors, or if you take off the roof, or if you take off the windshield. And let's see. Of course, the charger fits perfectly back there. So that's the cargo area in a Jeep Wrangler Rubicon Unlimited 4xe. Now we're going to measure out the passenger space, and for this I like to use myself. I'm 6'5", so let's see if I can sit behind myself in a Jeep Wrangler 4xe. So I am somewhat surprised to report that yes, I can. So here I am sitting in the front seat. My knees are not touching. I'm sitting upright, but I have enough headroom even with the top in place. And if I go in the back, it's the same story. Back here, I have just enough knee room. I'm sitting upright, but I have enough headroom with the top in place. I'm kind of impressed because honestly, the room in the front seat, even without my camera bag sitting right there, is horrible for me. There's more leg room in the passenger side than in the driver's side, or I guess because I don't have to mess with the pedals. But so anyway, yes, I do fit in the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon sitting behind myself. I'm very impressed. Now we'll move on to the specific plug-in hybrid parts of the Jeep Wrangler 4xe, and interestingly enough, under the hood, there's not a whole lot to indicate that this is the plug-in hybrid model. We've got a nice orange cable there and a little bit of high voltage looking stuff here, but nothing real specific. You do have a 2-liter turbocharged engine to go along with the electric motor in this car. Jeep claims a combined 375 horsepower and 470 torque, which is absolute bollocks from driving it. Those numbers are at least 100 too high in my opinion. But one thing I do like is it has a Garrett turbo that is exposed and sitting right on top of the engine. It's the little things in life that make me happy, and I enjoy the fact that it has a Garrett turbo. Now, on the inside of the Wrangler 4xe, you will notice some extra buttons down here. What these do, this one right here is to release the gas cap. No other Wrangler has that button. The reason why this one does is because it wants to normalize the gas pressure in the tank before you open it. So it's actually electronic. When you push that button, there may be a delay before it opens the cap, just so it's safe to open the gas cap. And then you have different drive modes. So hybrid mode is just kind of a normal mode. It'll let the car do whatever it wants with the battery in the engine to get the best efficiency. Electric mode, if you put it in that, it goes into a pure electric mode. However, the maximum electric range on the 4xe is only 21 miles. So you're not going to go that far. But if you can charge this car every day and you're only making short drives, that's one good thing there. And then you have e-save mode. Now what the e-save mode does is it defaults to just using the gasoline engine in the car and saving the battery for later. Why would you want to do this? Well, I'll give you an example. Let's say you live in Orange County, California, as I do, and you're going to drive to Las Vegas. If you're leaving your house with a full charge, you can put it in e-save mode, wait till you get to the bottom of the Cajon Pass, put it into hybrid mode, and then that way you can use the car's battery power to give you more power going up the hill and burn a little bit less gas going up the hill. That's kind of the concept there. Another button that's unique to the Wrangler 4xe is this kind of blue battery right here. When we turn that on, that turns the max regeneration on. So what that means is you do have regenerative braking in this car because it's a hybrid. So when you take your foot off of the gas or when you put your foot on the brake, as the car is slowing down, the electric motors are able to recoup some of the energy from the car's deceleration and put that into the battery. When you turn the max regeneration on, what that means is when you take your foot off of the gas, it's going to be a little bit more of a dramatic slowdown. So in theory, that would make the car more efficient because it's going to be recouping more energy off of the road and putting that back into the battery. It doesn't work like one pedal driving in a full EV. It's not quite that dramatic, but you definitely do notice a difference when you turn it on, and you are going to get better gas mileage if you use that when you're driving around in the city. So according to the window sticker, this Jeep Wrangler 4xe is rated 49 mpge. It's important to note there that the E does not mean electric, that means equivalent. So that's based on some wacky calculation that the EPA does for electric cars and plug-in hybrids. Don't take it as literally this car is going to get 49 miles per gallon. Take it as a comparative number to use to compare against other plug-in hybrids or EVs. Realistically, your miles per gallon could vary wildly, and it really all depends on how often you charge the car in between drives. If you're going to be taking a lot of short drives and charging it in between every time, you're going to get way better miles per gallon. Worst case scenario apparently is 20. That's what it's rated at on gasoline only. So that's really not that great, but as far as a Jeep Wrangler goes, I guess it's pretty good. Another interesting feature on the 4xe are these charge state lights right here. There's 5 of them, and they'll light up as the vehicle is charging. If it's 20% or less, you're only going to have one blinking. If it's between 21 and 40%, you get the second one, and so on and so on. It's kind of a nice feature because if you have the car plugged in charging, you can sort of glance at it from the outside and see how the charge is going without actually having to get into the vehicle. This is the included charging cable that you get with the vehicle. We have a nice Mopar logo there. And you have various lights telling you if it's charging, if it's had an error, whatever. So you can plug it in and charge it at home. It will take a few hours to charge up, and it'll only go about 21 miles total on a full charge, but it's nice that they give that to you. Thank you so much for watching my review on this Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 4xe. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please click the like button, subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment, and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.